So picking right up from where we last left off in part 7, we're going to open this bad boy up with part 8. So let's get stuck in and get cracking. Hey everybody, this is Everyman, and this is Everyman's 40K channel. So as you can see, we have the bridge primed up here in the left. We have a cardboard box sort of in position mid-right. We got a pile of sand here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the bridge finally mounted and in position. But before we do that, we have to do some terrain work, and I have to get the sanding done in this whole area on the return area right here. So once we get that all sanded, we can then mount the bridge and put the bridge in permanently and get it wired up. Obviously, we don't want to put the bridge in before we sand underneath and get it primed and painted under the bridge. So we're going to sand it. We're going to let it dry overnight. We're going to prime it. I'm going to prime it with a brush. I'm not going to use a spray can of black. I'm going to prime it with the brush. We're going to get it sealed with shellac, and then we can install the bridge. But while all this is drying and all this is getting sealed up, and we're going to wait a day, right, before we can actually install the bridge, we can still go ahead and move up here and start working on the buildings. We are going to build the buildings, the main structures, out of cardboard. So first things first, let's go ahead and sand the center section or the return area. So we're going to simply get out the glue and we're just going to sand it. Come in here with a little cup of water, thin some of this out. Okay, so now the idea is, again, just let it dry. The glue underneath is going to adhere to the stone and the rocks and the substrate. And then what we'll do is we'll come in with a dry brush and we'll brush off all the excess. And then use a vacuum, go ahead and do a little cleanup. And then we should be good to go. So we're going to go ahead and let this dry. I can let this dry and I'll go ahead and start working on the buildings while this is drying. Okay, so let me go wash my hands and clean up a little bit and then we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. So the last time I left you, we were messing with the terrain and sanding the center section here where the drain is. Well, we got that done. I cleaned it up, swept it, vacuumed it out, sealed it again with a coat of shellac, actually 2 coats of shellac. Let that dry overnight. Then I went ahead and I painted it a Payne's gray with a brush. Then I went ahead and gave it a dry brush. Painted the pylons gray. So they're kind of painted, they're ready to go. So we got this to a stage where we are almost ready to put down the bridge. Buildings, let's talk about buildings. I'm going to move the camera here real quick. What I want you to understand or want you to know about this is the first thing I did is I did a layout. I wanted to find out how I can encapsulate that speaker and keep a building or a building foundation look going. So what we did is I did a template. So this is from here, 1, 2, 3 inches, then building. So we have the angle of the building, right? Then we have a 45 coming out, Then we kept that same angle of that building. And then we have another 45 going back. So basically, this little section here is just kind of like a little rampart or a little bunker looking area attached to this building. So once we build it, that's the look we're going to give it. But this establishes the frame, okay, or the layout, so to speak. And then that's why we wanted it to run, you know, across that here, the crater. You guys will also notice that I've added some extra stuff here and here, and then the crater is much smaller. Now, let me show you the next part. This is the cardboard that I was talking about. So what this allows me to do is this allows me to build, but it also allows me to actually damage an inner and outer wall, or it establishes an inner and outer wall. So I can damage the outer wall and peel all this back and show depth in the wall. So you'll see what I mean once we get started. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make this more manageable. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut across that damage, just again to make this smaller and more manageable to work with. Right there, that is the beginning of the front facade of building number 1 and the small side section that you're going to be able to see. So again, do a little bit of decorative work, a little bit of cleanup. I still have to cut and measure and bend here to get this to look like a rampart. But once I glue inside some 90-degree standoffs here, inside, 90 degrees. Again, this is going to look really good. Holy cow. So from the last time I closed this out till now, I have really busted my rear end cranking this stuff out. So as you can see, we now have 2 buildings on the table. They are not set yet. So I want to explain again the process, because that's why I'm here, not just to show you guys this stuff, but maybe you guys can pick up something that I'm doing and use it. There are plenty of how to build building YouTube videos out there already. So I didn't want to show you guys how to draw and cut and, you know, use a razor blade and whatever, right? That's not what this is about. So what I'm going to show you though is, again, this is what I did. This is my solution, and this is why I use cardboard. So you noticed here, I can go ahead and show the actual inside of the building and peel it away, and those will be silver. So there'll be like a metal structure inside the actual building, and then we'll have the walls painted. These are going to kind of be a light gray stone looking kind of layout on the back. This is all I did because it's a facade. So we still have to do some gluing of these seal plates, right? Window seal plates. Those aren't glued down yet. So, but these sections here are for the flames, right? The LEDs that kind of flicker, and they're going to be flames. And then as you turn this around, we're going to have cotton smoke coming out of the building. So basically inside the building, it's going to be lights flashing and like fires and stuff going off. We are also at a spot where we can actually start gluing down things. These speakers have always been temporary, so I'm going to get the hot glue gun out, and I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple drops of hot glue, and we're going to glue those down permanent. Also, these are not glued down, right? So this is going to get glued down with the Elmer's wood glue. So we got to glue that down, press some books on there, get those in position. Then what we'll do is I have some barbecue skewers that we will skewer underneath here. And what we'll do is when this gets ready to be put down, we'll glue it, and it we'll skewer right down into the styrofoam, right down into everything. So that's going to go there. Now let me grab this one over here. Same thing. This is all one unit. The speaker over there is not down. That's only temp still. That plate is still not all the way down, but we did a stair step here of 2 plates, 1 step there to create just a foundation that this will sit on. I didn't want to bury this all the way down into the dirt, right? I didn't think that would look good. It was kind of cheesy. So I went ahead and gave it a foundation. Again, here's what we did. So this is foam board. So we went ahead, did some foam board, did some damage. The little bunker kind of thing, we got the actual buckled floor. So we got like a contoured or buckled floor. We got the exposed steel. I'll go in here a little bit and I'll clean these up so you won't see that this is cardboard, and I'll clean this top up here so you won't see that looks like cardboard. So let me go ahead and start actually gluing and bonding all this stuff down. I think we're at a spot now where I can glue down the whole frame perimeter and the edging, because once I start gluing these things down, the foam board and everything, I want those to be able to rest up against the edge, right? So in order to determine where the edge lands and cut the stuff, I got to get that down first. So we're going to go ahead and do some clamping, and we're going to miter, cut at 45s in each corner and make that look nice. But I got to sand the top of the table to do that first. So I got to take everything apart, and I got to actually start doing some sanding. All right, here's where we're at, everybody. So as you can see, we have the frame, nice mitered corners. Looks really nice on there, coming all together, looking good. Bridge is not down all the way yet, still haven't glued it down. We got one part of the road done on the right hand side. Got a little bit of cleanup work or painting work to do right there. As you can see, it's brown still. Got to paint that black and do a little dry brushing. So I wanted to show you over here, we got a pizza box, right? Thin cardboard or cardstock. So I just wanted to show you that because this is going to go under the cork board. And the reason for that is I'm going to put that under there, glue it down, make a little sandwich or a little stiffener underneath before I put it in the spot there and lock it in position. Again, the cork board itself was a little flimsy. So again, I just wanted to give it a little rigidity, kind of firm it up underneath there before I glue it down. But that's going to get glued down tonight before we go to bed so it can dry overnight. Put some books on it, just like I got the books in the back. Now the books in the back, they've been on there for about an hour or so. And basically what this is under here, let's go ahead and move it. This is the foundation. Like for real, this is the foundation. So the foundation is going down. And then we're going to put the buildings right on top of there. So that's where we're at, moving forward, constantly moving forward. We got the center, a little bit of painting you can see in the storm drain. As any chance I get to move something forward while something else is drying, I'm doing it. So as something's drying and getting glued down, I pick up the paint set and I move to painting. When that thing's done and I can start working on it again, I put the paints down. So again, this is just a race against time at this point. So this is where we're at. Tomorrow we should be able to get some buildings down and get the road completely done or in. And then we can free the top up of all the weights in the books and then get a good look at it. All right, so now we are really moving. Next, what we're gonna do is, you can see I have these prime black. So I went ahead, spray painted the back black here, then did acrylic on the front. So I went ahead and I did have these primed, but then I tore them apart because I wanted you to see what I meant by working with cardboard, how if you do dual layer cardboard, that you'll be able to peel away or expose the ribbing on the inside of the second layer. So that actually gives depth or some type of bite, like something hit this and the plaster crumbled off, without having to do multiple layers of Dollar Tree foam board, or, some people will apply a top coat of rocks and gravel and stuff, and then they kind of chip and peel away. Well, this method, I just go right straight to, peeling this stuff off. And then once I prime it again and then apply a dry brushing, you go ahead and you get that crumbled building look. So I did it on this one, and then I'll pull this one over, show you. So as you can see right in there. And then when we get it dry brushed, it'll look really good. So here, the bridge is down. It is glued in now. It's done. Road is done. This road is done, or glued in. I shouldn't say done. We have some more dry brushing and some more painting techniques we're going to do. But these two are down, glued, permanent. I went ahead and started to dry brush that set over there, that foundation, so that you can get an idea, again, just so it pops out and it looks bright. So you can get an idea of, once we set this on here, what it's going to look like that. All right, check this out. Got the LEDs working. Everything's hooked up. We got the building down. Building 2 down. Well, not down all the way. Let me show you. We talked about doing barbecue skewers, so they're under here. See? So again, details, details, details. As we're moving forward, we're going to keep detailing these buildings out. You can see right now I got some pipes, wires hanging out, doing some bullet hole work. We will put some wires in the background inside that building, like they're hanging from the ceiling, right? Some wires going across those windows, kind of just, again, shift the eye a little bit, looking inside that building. Over here, we got some pipes down in the ground. That's just a big straw wrapped in pizza box material, and then stuck that pizza box material down in that styrofoam. Coming over here, another straw stuck to that building. Bullet holes. We're going to put some Imperial Fist iconography all over this thing. We're probably going to do a propaganda poster over here on this side. That's a nice big flat wall. We could throw up a nice big Imperial Fist or Imperial Guard, propaganda poster. We're going to throw in some rubble around these bunkers and around these buildings, right? So it's just not going to be nice and clean. We are going to throw in some I-beams and some little cross members and some flat plates and things here that shift the eye again a little bit. Okay, so one thing over here. This is part 8. One thing we're going to tackle in part 9 is this corner. This corner, we got to finish it out. That way we can move into the rest of the terrain. That's the only way we're going to be able to finish the rest of the top of this building, or the rest of the top of this board. So in part 9, we're going to put that rhino in. We're going to ground cover those craters, and we're going to get that road installed, glued down, and fixed permanently. So in part 9, look for that to be the biggest project. And then we'll probably go ahead and cut out the locations for each miniature. So we're going to close out this one. This is part 8. So look forward to part 9. We're going to close this one out. So please tell all your friends on social media, Instagrams, Discords, Facebooks, that I'm out here. Hit that notification bell. Smash that like button, and please subscribe. And like we always say on the channel when we close this out every time, may all your dice rolls come up 6s unless you're looking for that 1. Peace out, fellas.